Welcome back to Las Vegas, or the Ninth Island, as they call it, in Honolulu. And we say aloha to our friends from Oahu. Timmy Chang, the head coach of the Rainbow Warriors, in his third season at the helm of his alma mater. Welcome, my friend, back to Mountain West Media Days.
Oh, thanks for having me back here in the Ninth Island.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this beautiful backdrop. I mean, we were just talking about it's unbelievable, and how special this is, and looking forward to this 24 season.
Well, we're looking forward to it as well. Bridget Howard, Jesse Kurtzen, the head coach of the Rainbow Warriors, Timmy Chang. Coach, in the third season of your alma mater, I thought you guys made tremendous strides, especially late in the season last year. And talking to Shager and Manuma yesterday, they talked about that late season surge, playing your best football, playing a team like Air Force at the end of the year who started 8-0 and physically beating them. That says a lot about the direction you're headed. Now, months after that fantastic finish, where are you in relation to continuing to move down the direction that you wanted to?
Sure. You know, to kind of reinvent yourself during season is one. If you're not in the right direction, how do you get quickly back on it? And I thought our team did a great job of really responding to some of the new things that we were doing, and setting up practice, playing for the guy next to us. Some of the little details behind football that you need to have. But they started to play some good football. You know, to me, Air Force is a standard in the conference. Coach Troy Calhoun is one of the best out there, and gets his team ready to win. You know, 8 games plus a season. And our guys were up for the challenge, and they just started to make strides down the end. Exciting game against one of my mentors in Jay Norvell. Yeah. in that last game of the season, kicking a late game field goal to win. But that sets our trajectory to where we're at today. These guys understand what needs to be done. They're in year 3. A lot of the guys that we've played with all come back. Got 9 starters on offense, 8 on defense, and you know, I'm looking forward to it.
Braden Shager, we got to talk with him yesterday. To have your guy back at quarterback this season, can't ask for much more, and I'm sure that excites you plenty.
It does. It does. Yeah. Great young man. You know, I got to see this young man grow. Got to coach against him when he made his first start at Nevada years back. And moving forward, looking into his last year, you know, I'm excited for him. You know, he finished off really strong. Became one of the top passing quarterbacks in the country. Started to use his legs late in the season, but that all kind of again heads us in the direction on what we're going to do with him and how we're going to use him. But we go as he goes. You know, in this offense and run and shoot, when the quarterback plays at a high level, you can have chances to win games.
You brought back the run and shoot, too much fanfare, and I don't think that you were going to waste any time in getting back to the roots of Hawaii football and the roots that you grew up with. First year's trials and tribulations, did you like the way it went, and what sort of leaps and bounds can you make here in year 2 running it once again?
Yeah, you know, in the process of running an offense like this, it takes a little while to get on it, and you gotta kind of go through those trials. You gotta get put in the fire. You're gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna grow from those mistakes. And what I'm hoping in coming into this next year is that, you know, with the time spent on the field, the practices, the repetitions, they just continue to get better and better and better. You know, last year, as I knew we were putting in the run and shoot, and sitting at our setups there. You know, just talking to you guys, I just thought that, you know, it was going to take some games. We had a rough October where we didn't win a game, but in November, where you're playing some meaningful football, you know, we got our tails kicked by Wyoming, but it was the first time that I felt that it was such a meaningful game, because winning that game would have set up a game that we needed to win at home against Colorado State to get to a bowl game. You know, looking forward and moving forward now, you know, I'm excited about where these guys are at. They're putting in the time. They're getting to know each other. You know, the freshmen that we've been playing with the last 2 years that been taking, you know, a beating. You know, it's time to start delivering that beating a little bit.
One of those freshmen that performed at a very high level was Pofele Ashlock, your wide receiver last year, over 800 yards in receptions. The beatings that he took, but he also gave out some of those. How much better can he be in year 2 in this offense now that he understands his role even better? 100%.
He's special. He's special, and he has a cast to go along with him, but man, he does everything right. I mean, he's one of them sound guys in the locker room, in that receiver room that you can lean on, you can count on to get things done. His attitude is infectious. What he brings in the intangible part is unbelievable. When you watch his foot speed, you know, he's going to be an NFL guy when it's said and done. I've coached some. I coached some of them and know what it looks like. One of the best ones in Torrey Horton in Colorado State. You know, he's going to be our next NFL guy that we coach that comes up. But Perfele, Stevie McBride, and some guys that I have in the receiver room, they're going to be pretty special.
Another piece on this offense who we didn't get to see a lot of last year because of an injury, but Tylan Hines. And I hear he's moving to wideout.
Yeah, Tylan's going to move to wideout, and he's another special one. I mean, we didn't get to, his first year. I think he had about 600 all-purpose yards. Yep. You know, we redshirted him last year. He was battling through a double ankle injury in 2 different spots, and he just wasn't the same guy. Tried to throw him out there for Vanderbilt, got injured. Tried to throw him out for Stanford, got injured, and we just made the decision that, hey, you were a true freshman when you play. Let's redshirt you. Let's get you healthy. But getting the ball to him in space is going to be a problem. His speed as well is just another. It's just really dynamic. It's stuff that, you know, when you go recruit guys, that's what you're looking for. But he brings that to the table, and I'm excited to watch him play.
Coach, your depth at what we would call the skill positions is pretty elite. You are loaded at those. Where are you in relation to what you think you need? Everybody wants more, right? But where you think you need to succeed?
You know, we just need to execute. Okay, yeah. and really, you know, as every coach that's going to come down here and talk is, you know, you got to make plays. I mean, you need to make plays. You don't know when those plays are coming. You know, every game's going to be determined by 1 or 2 snaps. And the Mountain West Conference is tough. I mean, every team is capable of beating each other, and so we're going to go to battle. And every player and every team has good players, and so it's going to be a play here, play there. But just to say the simple, basic fundamentals and techniques of tackling, catching, running, blocking, you know, they all come into play.
On defense, the guy that I look at that's one of your playmakers. It was Peter Manuma, the guy that we got a chance to talk to yesterday. He's played in all 26 games in his UH career and just has a motor. I mean, that guy has a nose for the football and can take a direct line to it and make plays.
Old school throwback Hawaii football player.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to see his hair blowing in the wind when he's running. Very fast, very quiet by demeanor. But I tell you what, when you put those pads on and you tell him to go, smart player, instinctive, and he loves to hit guys. And so he's a special player, and I look forward to watching him make plays in that secondary.
Quiet guy. I mean, he was excited to be up here yesterday. He had the smile working. I didn't see quiet from him yesterday, but that's all right. I'll take your word for it, Coach.
Yeah, he's such a nice young man. I mean, he's you know, when he gets on the field, I mean, they turn it on. He's an animal. He's an animal. But he's got some good pieces around him. I mean, our corner room with Verdell Edwards and Cam Stone and JoJo Forrest and Caleb Brown. I mean, we're a deep corner room, as well as at linebacker with Logan Taylor, Jalen Smith, Jemai Otis, you know, and Elijah Palmer. You know, we're rounding out a defense that looks to be more productive under Dennis Thurman.
You mentioned a couple of those guys, and one of them I want to mention is Cam Stone. He's a 3-time All-Mountain West honorable mention. Just a great player, came from Wyoming. He knows what it takes now in this system, in this defense. How does he just elevate this defense?
Yeah, I'm challenging him. You know, when we get after quarterbacks and then we put them on an island, you know, I expect him to cover the best receivers, and there's some really good ones in this conference. You know, but I expect him to challenge himself and watch those guys and cover those guys and make a play. You know, that's what he has to do. He has to make plays and do his job. And so when we put him on an island, he's got to respond, and I think he will.
After last season and the way that it finished, was there a collective message amongst the players that you heard as they were heading into this year and getting ready for this season based off of what last year entailed?
Yeah, you know, we knew a lot of guys were going to come back. you know, we understood and where we were headed and what we were going to do. And so the most important thing was sticking together, you know, having a great offseason, being accountable to each other, cleaning up the discipline. You know, we threw in a new defensive scheme. The special teams and offense stays the same. You know, added a coach in Dan Morrison, who was my quarterback coach, around, and just to give us more experience. You know, I hired 3 guys in the offseason, and they gave us over 100 years of coaching experience. And so with that, you know, it just elevates your program, understanding of football, and what it takes to win. And so, and that's the next step. You know, as we look at all these games in a tough schedule and a good schedule, you know, we plan on winning these games, and then it's going to go down to the wire, and it's about us making plays.
Big luxury you'll also have on defense, the return of Logan Taylor. He was here a year ago, got a chance to meet him and talk to him about, you know, playing football, and you could see the passion that he has for the game. Got injured, didn't play last year much, but a guy that 6 straight games a couple of years ago had double-digit tackles. First UH player to do that in over 2 decades. How hungry is he to get back out on the football field? Oh man, I can hear him talking right now, all the way from Hawaii. You know, and what a great young man. 2 young kids, wife. You know, he's studying to be a pastor. And that's the intangibles is what excites me about that young man. Going to be a great leader as well as he's our spiritual and our vocal leader. Brings so much value to the table. And even with that ACL injury, if you looked at our sidelines in those last 4 games of the season, he was right there getting us up, getting us ready, telling us, you know, we're going to be okay. He was even telling me, as I'm yelling at referees, he's telling me, Coach, don't worry about it. We got this. We're going to be okay. And but what a great young man to have back. You mentioned it briefly, the addition of Dan Morrison, your quarterbacks coach, and the U of H quarterbacks that he has helped. Yourself, Colt Brennan, Nick Rolovich. I mean, the list goes on. To have that legacy of guys that not only were great quarterbacks, but like next level transformative quarterbacks in Rainbow Warrior uniforms, to have that guy back to help groom Braden Shager, whoever the next quarterback is, how valuable is that, and why did you bring him in? He's a living legend. You know, he gets guys ready, and not just he's so adaptable to the personality or the character of what the quarterback is. I mean, and the list goes on, because when he started to do it with Jeremiah Masoli in the Canadian Football League, he did it with P.J. Walker in the XFL, he did it with Danucci as well. And he just understands how to transform these quarterbacks and do it in his style as well as their style. He's not trying to change it. He's not trying to change these quarterbacks. He just tries to help them adapt and learn under what has worked, what has been done, but use their best personalities and traits and characteristics to really form them into what they're going to be. And so Braden's gonna and his team and myself, we're gonna benefit of just having a man like that around, and I'm very blessed to have my mentor. Well, let's talk about this upcoming schedule this year, because I know everyone is itching to get back to college football. And as we have your schedule here on the side of the screen, when you look at those first couple games, Delaware State, UCLA, then you head to Sam Houston State, Northern Iowa. What expectations do you have for this team in those first couple of games of the season to set you up for success once you get to Mountain West action? Yeah, we're going to go 2 games. Week 0 with Delaware State, and a good opponent coming in, and then we have a Big Ten opponent, UCLA, which would be a tough match, as they beat Boise in the LA Bowl last season. And so Deshaun Foster will have his guys ready to go. We end a bye week, and then we have to go on the road to a tough Sam Houston State team, come back for Northern Iowa, get another bye week, and then we have a 7-game stretch right there. At San Diego State, back for Boise State, at Washington State, back for Nevada, at Fresno State, back for UNLV, then at Utah State. You can see right in there, that's going to be a really, really haul for us to really be humming by that time that stretch comes. And so, you know, it's a good out-of-conference schedule, and then we get into the meat of our schedule. We get a bye week, and then on Thanksgiving weekend, we got
Coach Mendenhall and the Lobos, and that's going to wrap up our senior game. And so it's a tough schedule. It's a great schedule. And that's where Mountain football, that's where Mountain West football is at, is that you're going to play good teams and you're going to go to battle and you got to get ready for it. So, you know, being near 3, I know what to expect. My guys know what to expect. And so, you know, as we speak right now, they're getting prepared.
Well, Timmy, we appreciate your insight into your team. We know the Rainbow Warriors are going to be even better this year than they were last year, and you finished on such a high note. Good luck to you guys this year. We look for great things from your team in 2024.
It's been fun. Thank you guys for having me.
You bet.
Of course, that's Timmy Chang, head coach for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. Well, we've still got more coming your way here at Mountain West Football Media Days at Circa Resort and Casino. Coming up next, we'll hear from the hometown guy himself. Mr. Barry Odom from the UNLV Rebels will be joining us live on the Mountain West Network to talk all things Rebels football. Don't go anywhere. We're back right after this.